Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from the smoke-filled air of Salt Lake City,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Dan.
Coming up on today's episode, we're going to be talking about, we're going to give like a sneak preview of sorts.
A sneak peek.
To Larry Wilmore's Race, Religion, and Sex. It's a show that's going to be coming up on Showtime.
Yeah, that's the that's the Daily Show's touted senior black correspondent.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're familiar with him, you might be interested in watching this on Showtime, and we'll get to that a little bit later on.
Yeah, we'll have a lovely chat about that. You'll get some inside scoop.
Yeah,
We got the scoop, people.
the scoop.
We're gonna scoop you.
We like the scoop.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
What do you got?
blah, blah, blah. Did you know that it's Ramadan? like we haven't talked about it.
Ramadan a ding. Actually, you know what? I don't think it is.
What do you mean it's not?
I think it ended yesterday.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Was it the new moon? Because that's when it ends. I learned that.
Oh, you're fancy with your knowledge and things. No, I think last week we looked it up and it was like
It was ending.
I
think you're right.
The 18th or something.
Oh. So that was like yesterday. Okay. Well, cool. Anyways, we do have some news though about Ramadan.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
I do like Ramadan news.
And this has to do with a tradition of sorts in some predominantly Muslim countries of automatically taking an offering that's traditional during Ramadan called zakat. It's supposed to be like
candy bar, right?
Yes, it's delicious.
The zakat bar.
The zakat bar. It has
it's like got a caramel thing
with
and
nougat.
Yeah,
that's where the gat comes from. Yeah, or cat.
Zakat.
Oh, okay.
Zakat.
Zakat. Anyways, they have a tradition of automatically deducting from your bank account 2.5% of what's there.
Wow, that sounds delightful. Everybody, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, exactly right. And they enforce. Actually, what's interesting is they only enforce it for the Sunni Muslims.
Oh, I see.
They which is funny. So you have to prove that you're not Sunni.
Do you have to sign up for a Sunni bank account?
Well, you probably check a box, right? You just check. You mark it
at the.
I will be subject to
the Islamabad
Zagat.
First Savings and Trust.
Yeah, that's the one.
You want an account? Okay. Well, what is which version of Islam are you?
Sunni? No, actually, you have to prove that you are not Sunni.
Right. Yeah.
Because
otherwise Sunni is the default. Sunni, but if you want the gold account, then you have to prove that you're not Sunni.
Yeah.
You have to be Shiite to get the gold account.
So this is of course we're talking about specifically in Pakistan, and so guess what happens?
I think I can guess because the second that you mentioned that people automatically taking money out of my account, I thought, well, my mattress is a good place to store my money.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's exactly what happens. Apparently, there is just like a huge amount of money that goes out of the Pakistani bank system right before Ramadan every year, and it stays out of it. What's amazing about it is that there's no mechanism there for like an average. Like they don't look at the average account,
a yearly
balance
average or something.
Yeah, exactly. As what they're pulling from. It's just whatever's there on a given day during Ramadan.
They're going to take 2.5%?
2.5%.
Wow.
And what's cool about this offering when people are in control of it themselves is that they actually do really cool things. And that's what the article is saying, is that these are not people who are pulling their savings so that they just flat can keep it all.
They're not trying to dodge.
They still give zakat. Or at least a lot of them do. I'm sure there's a lot that are like...
They don't want the Pakistani government deciding on how their charitable giving is going?
Exactly.
Wow, that's shocking, because it seems to me that of all the governments, the Pakistani government would do a great job with that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But anyways,
Well, there you go.
I thought it was interesting.
Well, so wait, you just said that they do cool things with it?
Oh yeah, one of the things that they do is the wealthy people who are avoiding paying through the government. They one of the traditional ways of giving beyond just like giving to alms to the poor and that kind of stuff is to give interest-free loans to the poor who are trying to start their own businesses. So that's actually really cool because, well, first of all, I mean, in Islam, they don't normally traditionally charge usury.
Oh, right.
And so
you're not allowed to.
Right. But they're kind of going out of their way to find people who may not otherwise qualify during the rest of the year. Right. Type deal.
And then, even though you're not charging any interest, you might get your charitable contribution back again.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good trick.
That's a good one.
That's a good trick because then you look like you're really helping people out, and you're not paying anything for it.
Right.
Assuming you get it back.
Right. Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, interestingly, Christians are not supposed to engage in usury either.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But that seems to not have took quite as well in the Christian world.
No, we somehow have.
I think
conveniently forgotten about that. In the Christian world.
I think what might have happened is that they started to notice how much money the Jews were making when they were engaging in the practice.
Yes,
and some Christian was like, maybe God didn't mean it exactly the way we're interpreting it, because I'd like a piece of that pie.
Yeah,
and who wouldn't want a piece of Jewish pie?
Oh, they make good pie.
Such good pie.
Such good pie. Kosher pie.
Is that a challah crust? I don't even know.
God, that's weird. No, it's a matzah crust.
It's a matzah crust. What we've got. Don't put a slice of cheese on it. It's got some meat in it. I don't know. I'm like scanning my knowledge of kosher to try and come up with a joke, but there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Nice attempt there, Dan.
Thanks. I do try.
I appreciate it.
I do try. And apparently I take any chance I get to do some bullshit Yiddish accent.
No.
Apparently that's...
Dan, not you.
It is a fun one, though. I have to admit. Of all the bullshit accents I do, the Yiddish fake, Borscht Belt comedian voice. I don't know what that is. Anyway, have you ever heard of liveprayer.com? I think you have.
Huh?
No? Oh, it's
you said I think you what?
Maybe you haven't. It's really you'd think that you would have, because at least according to the founder, who is what's his name? I got it somewhere. Bill Keller. According to his own press release, he is the world's leading internet evangelist. Apparently, there's figures for that.
Wow!
Because he's the leading one.
He leads the pack. Apparently,
he definitely does. And you know what, Frank, you should go to the site.
I'm.
You know what?
Live prayer
listeners, if you're in front of a device, go with us to liveprayer.com because it is just a delight.
Well, the design just jumps right out at you, doesn't it?
It's beautiful web design. It's you know what's funny is that all the sort of conspiracy theory / like internet religious crazy sites, they all look like this. I've seen dozens.
Well, it's because it's some guy in his basement just cranking it out all on his own.
Right, trying to put it together on...
Well, he definitely had a little bit of help with like the masthead. Because that while it's not lovely design, it's a lot better than the rest of the page.
The whole page, so it's got...
Live show, click here.
Whoa.
Do I dare?
No,
I'm not going to dare. Not right now.
Don't do that. But yeah, they got
the special features are kind of fun, Dan.
Yeah. Under special features, we got a picture of Oprah. That's a
nice picture of Oprah too.
What's their deal with Oprah?
I don't know.
Why are they opposed to Oprah? Do we know?
Well, I'm clicking on it. It says Oprah Winfrey debate with Bill Keller of Live Prayer. but I need a
She
plug-in to
debated
watch
him?
it. Yeah.
I can't believe that happened. She's
No,
legitimating this guy?
She debated him.
Oh, my
she
God.
probably had him like, I don't know what that would be even. It's probably like some Oprah stand-in.
They just did an intercut where they took like some quotes from her show and cut him in.
Yeah.
She's actually talking to Tom Cruise, but
Hey, Dan, they also don't like Obama.
what? Wait. Evangelical Christians who don't like Obama? How is that possible? He's a
Evangelical Christians who Photoshop him into a photo with Hitler?
under the heading God's Hope or False Hope.
False hope.
And then next to it, another picture of Obama under the heading God's Enemy. Yeah.
Yeah.
However,
What's this crib thing?
if crib and
Live prayer. Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
However, if you'll notice a little higher up, you got the there are two little things. That one says voting for Satan, and one that says vote for Jesus. Now I don't know what Jesus is running for, so I can't really vote for him.
Let's see.
Is it the Senate race?
Vote for Jesus. 327,000 people have committed so far. Sign up now to vote for Jesus. Christians must take a stand and say no to Satan this November.
Yeah,
3
I think they should.
exclamation points.
Which is great because if you click voting for Satan, it's not what you think. It's not.
What is it?
Well, I would have thought that it would be that one Obama fella.
Oh yeah, because
On there again.
They obviously don't like him.
No, what you get is the top banner says a vote for, and then shows a little picture of Mitt Romney is a vote for, and then it shows a picture of what can only be
dear God.
a Halloween mask, a latex Halloween mask of Satan, who's got a vicious underbite, by the way.
Yeah, he needs some orthodontia. They need a good orthodontist
You know what?
in hell.
He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it because it's hell. You don't get your problems fixed in
You know
hell.
what, Dan, I am so glad that I grew up in a religion that did not have this concept of
hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
You know, like
Satan's not like
because I was already obsessed with the idea of like Satan and his minions always being around and tempting me. I didn't need also an ugly face added to it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, he's just another spirit out there who made bad choices.
Made very bad choices.
Mormons are very concerned with bad choices. But yeah, on this voting for Satan site, there's also like a Judas gallery. Christians who have sold out Christ to back Mormon
Oh no.
Mormon cult member Mitt Romney.
I don't agree with this list.
Dr. Laura's on there. Judas. Joel Osteen.
Joel Osteen's the one that I don't get.
He's a Judas.
Joel Osteen?
He's a Judas.
But he's so nice.
He's backing a cult member.
Pat Robertson.
Yeah.
How could you have to be a real crackpot if you're in that world of Christianity and you think that Pat Robertson is not on your side?
Yeah. If he's sold out,
Yeah.
who's left?
Who is left?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you who's left. Bill Keller.
Bill Keller, yeah.
And so you want to know what's going on with Bill Keller?
What?
He's been slandered. Libeled.
What?
It's libel. He is suing the Southern Poverty Law Center, and these guys are a bunch of crackpots. They just go around labeling organizations as not being nice. They go around monitoring who's being nice to underprivileged and underserved groups.
Mm-hmm.
And they've labeled Mr. Keller and his website a hate group.
Clearly not.
How could they do it? Where are they getting this?
It is clearly not a hateful website.
No. All they're doing is comparing Obama to Hitler and Mitt Romney to Satan. How do you call that?
Oprah to something. I still haven't figured that one out.
And obviously, even though I haven't found the link for it, it's clear that they got to hate the queers, obviously.
Yeah, where is that? There's stuff about abortion, relationships,
It's
healing. Where is it?
Maybe it's under the pictures of the World Trade Center towers being attacked. Maybe it's under that.
Oh yeah, Plan of Salvation.
Oh,
I thought that was a Mormon.
it is.
Phrase.
There's a whole plan of salvation, or does it just say salvation?
No, it says plan of salvation. The Bible teaches that God has provided salvation in the person and work of Jesus Christ. Anyways, evangelicals must use the phrase as well.
Anyway, I'm not finding it instantly on his website. Apparently, he is very much against the gays, and also the what he calls the quote. I can't say quote until I find the quote. The quote false religion of Islam and other cults. He says
false religion.
Yeah, he's saying that he receives at least because and this is
false religion.
He's what?
Well, I mean, I get what would make something a false religion,
right? That's what he's saying.
But that's not what he believes in religion.
Well, yeah, but he's not saying that it's not actually a religion. He's saying that the theology of the religion is false.
Oh. Because there are those who claim that it's not really a religion.
That's not really a religion.
Isn't that the whole Freesboro thing? Murfreesboro?
Oh, that it's not a real religion?
That was one of the things
because it's a political group that's trying to take over
exactly.
the United States politics. Yeah,
right.
That was just a stupid dodge. Oh, but here's the other peachy thing that he's doing, that this Keller guy's doing. You remember how there was a shooting, some guy went in and shot up. I don't think he killed anybody, but he shot up the Family Research Council, which is a right wing
in D.C.
Yeah. So he says that that shooting was directly due to the Southern Poverty Law Center.
What?
because the Southern Poverty Law Center they give license to individuals who oppose a biblical worldview to take whatever actions they deem fit, even acts of violence, to silence those they disagree with.
Really?
Yeah.
The Southern Poverty Law Center is doing that.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're giving that license by declaring that these hateful people are hateful.
Oh, my goodness.
By calling them a hate group. They are giving license to shoot at them.
Yeah, obviously.
Clearly. I mean, they might as well just start advocating.
I always come to.
They might as well just start advocating shooting. I mean, why don't they just come out and say it?
They should just start handing out the guns.
They need to go to liberal rallies wherever liberals are
and just start
they'll go to the gay centers. The lesbian and gay centers and just start giving
out
guns and
why not?
And addresses to the Family Research Council.
Oh.
Anyway, so he's sweet, but yeah, he's suing because he's not a hate group. Let me tell you something, that guy's not hateful.
No, of course not,
because Jesus is about love.
Mm-hmm. That's true too.
Except for the gays and the Muslims and anybody else that isn't like them.
Yeah. Well, I have something that's similar.
Oh?
Yeah. It has to do with this Amish group that's been going around cutting off other Amish's beards. Have you heard about this? No, I know you've heard about this because we talked about it at one point.
It's just so funny. Their big rebellion is that they're cutting off other dudes' beards.
Yeah, well, they hold them down. Let's see, where's the thing? They used 8-inch horse mane shears. And
that would actually be scary.
And apparently they also took pictures with a disposable camera and of the stuff.
I gotta say that, like, when I imagine this happening to me, if I imagined a bunch of people suddenly like grabbing me, throwing me to the ground, holding me down, and coming at me with 8-inch horse shears, I would be terrified.
Oh yeah.
But the fact is that they're cutting off their beards.
They're cutting off their beards.
And taking a photo of it and running away.
Well, yeah.
I think that's... Well, it's a funny image to me.
They did attack their hair as well.
But
hair length and beards have religious significance for the Amish.
Right.
And to have them to cut the hair and beard is considered degrading.
Yeah.
Obviously. But anyways, so this fringe group wants to make sure that the words cult, splinter, and rogue are banned from an upcoming hate crime trial. Because they feel that those would be...
They cast them in a
somehow.
Negative light.
Cast them in a negative light. Yeah.
That's just not fair to this group of people who are obviously not a cult.
Obviously not.
Because what else do they do? This not cult group?
Well, they have a leader with the last name Mullet.
which makes his okay. I was about to say his barbarism.
Oh,
you see what I did there?
Samuel Mullet, 66 of Jefferson County, Ohio.
He's 66.
He's 66 years old.
Yeah, he's probably not engaging directly in the shaving, is he?
He might. He's probably there.
He's too old.
Anywho, he has 15 followers who are being charged. I'm sure there's more followers than that, but this is the group.
I doubt there is that much more than that.
With hate crimes. They just to like make sure that we're clear that this is obviously not a cult. Here are some of the facts about them. They would sleep for days at a time in filthy chicken coops. And we're
like
supposed
on
to
purpose?
obey not only his interpretation of the Bible, but also all of his orders and directives. Mullet is also accused of allowing the community to engage in practices of self-deprivation and corporal punishment to prove their loyalty to him.
Yeah, none of this is ringing cult.
Doesn't sound like a cult at
all.
He also forced women to have sex with him, allegedly, so that he could learn, or so that they could learn to please their husbands better.
Oh, well, see, now that's just a public service.
Yeah,
He's just helping their husbands.
he's a charitable man.
That is nice.
Good man. Wonderful man.
And again, nothing culty about that at all.
No.
This is clearly like that is an unfair moniker and should not as though given like if any of these facts come to light in the trial, there won't be like everybody in the courtroom won't automatically go, "Oh, they're a cult."
Yeah, like
it's
the jury.
That would just be I mean, honestly, if I were opposing counsel, I'd be like, sure, let's not use those words. That'll be fine. I don't need them. I will just tell them what you do, and everything will be fine. Everyone will know what we're talking about. Honestly,
yeah.
Honestly, people. Yeah. So I was going to do a story about, and I'm going to tell this story quickly. This isn't my actual story, but I'm going to tell this really quickly because it's an image that just tickles me.
Okay.
The Detroit Free Press reported that an officer pulled over a driver after another driver called 911 to report there was a nude traveler on the roads.
Okay.
Turned out to be Reverend Peter Petrosky.
Oh, okay.
Peter Petrosky. Wow,
Okay.
I had trouble reading. Mike
Petrosky.
Reverend Petrosky.
Oh, okay.
Of the former pastor of the Sacred Heart Parish, who was pulled over and reportedly told the officer, because he was completely in as God made him.
Oh.
In the buff. And he said, I was hot. I like to drive around naked. Apparently,
I like the idea of a nudist priest.
Yeah. Apparently, he was also drunk.
Oh,
that's not very nice.
I don't like the idea of a drunk priest.
Yeah, no. Well, drunk priests are fine, just not driving.
Yeah.
Drunk naked priest though is funny.
Drunk naked priest is funny.
I don't care who you are.
Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah, there's something funny about
something that strikes my fucking bone.
Yeah, I can see this turning into a great Zach Galifianakis vehicle.
Yeah, well, like what it does is it lacks all of the things that would turn that creepy.
Yeah,
such as usually when you think of priests and naked, you would probably also think of a young boy.
Yeah. But this doesn't have that. It's just a guy driving around naked.
Guy driving naked.
He likes to drive naked.
And he likes it.
Is that so wrong?
Wow. I hope he has a garage. And he can keep the door closed on.
And then
so that
just
he can make his way in.
Just get into his car. Yeah,
Did he have,
honestly,
his clothes next to him on
who
the
knew?
seat? Or did he...
I just got to wonder if the 911 lady, the person who called 911, they must have been high up. They were in their Dodge Durango or something.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can't see. He just needs to get a higher vehicle.
Yeah. Well,
it just looked like he was shirtless then.
The summer that I was riding in my brother's truck, my brother's a household goods mover.
Yeah.
So I rode with him one summer, and anyways, that was an experience. But when you're up in a semi, you can see who has their beer sitting in their
cup holder. Yeah. Right. But no one can see which truck drivers have their beer in their cup holder.
No. Well, no.
Anyway, but that's not my story.
What?
The story that I wanted to do was something different.
For that not being your story, we spent a lot of time on it.
Yeah, because it's fun.
Dan.
Well, shut up. How about that, Frank? Don't give me grief. I'm trying to bring entertainment to the listeners. That's all I'm trying to do. Anyway, so
this make it awkward.
You're making it awkward. Let me just do this other story. Okay. But no, this is a good one. And it's fashion related.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
so
interesting.
The Amish like their beards and hair. The Jews like their they've got a new piece of fashion eyewear.
Oh, really?
Well, okay. So the Orthodox Jews, they're not supposed to see members of the other sex. They're supposed to be completely separated.
Well, yeah,
from members of the other.
Yeah, like on public transit and whatnot, right?
Yeah. On the bus, and just women on one side.
Even in New York, they try to pull that off, right?
Yeah.
We talked about a story like that in one of the early episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. So in Jerusalem, obviously it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
They might have a little bit more of the backing of law.
Yeah. Well, what do you do if you're walking down the street and suddenly someone of the opposite gender is right there?
Oh, dear God.
You might see them.
On the street in front of you.
You might actually see them. You might be forced to, look at them. Well...
And have dirty thoughts?
Your problem... Well, or not. Just looking at them is probably bad enough.
Well, here's the deal, though, Dan. If you grew up in that community with that kind of division between men and women, you never learn how to interact with women.
Yeah, no.
You never do.
You are that awkward 12-year-old permanently.
Forever. Yeah. And so, 60-year-old Hasidic Jew walking down the street.
Yeah. Or even a 25-year-old Hasidic Jew walking down the street.
Well, I'm just thinking it's a little bit more... It's a little...
Yeah, he's just freaked out.
He's a little freaked out.
Well, there's a solution.
What? Oh, yeah?
So you know how glasses were invented to improve your vision?
Oh, okay, sure.
They now have blurry glasses. You can get blurry glasses so that you don't have to look at people of the opposite gender.
Isn't that just any glasses that aren't the right prescription?
Or that are smudged. You just put a smudge on your glasses.
You get your fingers all peanut buttery and you just smear them around.
Just a little, but don't use Vaseline because then they'll look dreamy. like the
Barbara Walters,
like the women in
all
the
of her specials
in the old old timey movies.
Oh, yeah, the Star Trek
That's
love
right.
interests.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The pretty filter. Well, she's not as pretty as we had hoped she would be. How are we going to solve this filter? Yeah, they actually used to do that, as you well know.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, they just blurry glasses. This is the new solution. See,
That's absurd.
You don't have to be high tech to solve a problem. You can just blur up some glasses. It's the opposite of beer goggles.
Yeah,
it's kosher goggles.
Jew goggles. That's not good.
Oh my God,
that's not good, Dan.
No. I don't think I'll be getting a pair of these goggles. I'm just hoping that nobody's driving and avoiding and trying to avoid seeing someone of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
That could be dangerous.
That could be really dangerous.
There could be traffic problems in Jerusalem.
Yeah, well, they just need to bar women from driving and being able to ride in cars.
And doing other things.
And being able to leave their house.
Why are women allowed to leave their house?
Women should just stay at home.
And
stay where they're supposed to be.
Just stay at home and kvetch.
Yeah. And
That's your job as a woman.
cook and clean. And I mean, what happened to that?
Right?
What happened to that? I mean, the West is just fucked beyond belief.
Letting women out.
Yeah.
Men and women talking to each other.
Screwed it all
Being
up.
friends. Going
Yeah.
to baseball games. It's Satan at work.
Yeah. I don't think you have to believe in God to know that women are supposed to stay at home.
I think that much is eminently clear. If women aren't supposed to stay at home, then why did my mom cook all of our meals growing up?
No,
It's
surely
just-
that's not the truth.
It's just logic. Of
So
course that
those
is the
years
truth.
when your dad was taking care of you, watching you during the day, he was not cooking the meal.
that wasn't years. That never really happened.
I thought there was like a
was like-
time when he was like working on his PhD or something.
Yeah,
and
that
he
was
at
like
home.
when I was like 0 to 1
Oh, you're kidding.
or something like that.
Oh, so it wasn't like a. Oh, okay.
No,
I
but
had
my
this image of your dad taking care of you guys for years and years. No.
no, this was not a stay-at-home dad situation.
Oh,
This was a two-income family situation. As soon as he got his
Oh.
PhD, which was right after. Well, no, let's see. He got his PhD when I was. There's a picture of me being like 5 when he got his PhD.
yeah. He didn't
I don't
make
know.
the meals. He didn't
I don't. No.
prepare something? He never cooked for you guys.
Not that I can ever remember.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Ever.
My dad never cooked unless it was steaks on Mother's Day
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
or something having to do with a grill
Oh, yeah. Or camping.
or camping. Yeah.
For
Yeah,
some reason, when there's real fire involved, the men are able to cook. But boy, you get an electric range and suddenly, I don't know what I'm doing in here. This is crazy. Get a woman. I also don't know how to do dishes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my poor mom
Yeah,
cooked all the meals, cleaned up all the meals.
well, that's Mormon women for you.
Yeah.
Speaking
I
of
never
Mormon
did a
women,
dish. I never did a dish growing up.
really?
Oh,
I hated it. I
no.
was forced to do the dishes.
Oh no. My mom did everything.
Yeah.
She didn't make my bed. She would not make my bed.
Oh well, it's good of her to take a stand. That's a powerful woman right there, taking the big stand on not making your bed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, a lot of moms make the kids' beds.
Not mine.
Oh. Probably not a lot anymore.
Well, my bed just never got made. That was the answer.
All right. Well, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you just did one, so I need to do one.
Yeah, I'm trying to lead you in because
Oh.
I knew that you had a Mormon. We were talking about Mormon women.
Oh, hey.
I'm trying to segue you in.
Well, the Mormon women are having a little event coming
Yay.
up.
Good
They're
for them.
having a conference up at the University of Utah, co-sponsored by the LDS Church.
Oh,
Yeah.
the church themselves.
They're going to be talking about the women's roles in the Mormon Church. And
that's
how
easy.
to
we just
there's basically no role.
we just figured out what women's
officially
role.
in the Mormon Church.
Excuse me, you don't think that taking care of the kids and cooking and cleaning is a role? Because that's women's role.
Well, yeah, but there are some women who, I mean, in the early days of Mormonism, there were a lot of women who, wanted to participate in like priesthood and what have you, right? They wanted.
Well, they were participating in priesthood. Emma Smith, which was Joseph's first wife, not only did she basically probably hound him into letting her start the Relief Society, which was the women's organization.
Sure, still is.
And he at that time intended for it to be a lesser but still extant priesthood organization. He wanted them to the verbiage. It's very interesting. The history of that is very interesting.
Well, what's interesting about the temple is inside the temple, women have to officiate certain things
because
it's all divided by gender,
Right.
in the temple. And so there's
they have
there's
blurry
actual
glasses?
like laying on of hands
by women, right?
by women to other women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Emma Smith herself, there are stories of her giving giving blessings.
I believe it, yeah.
And stuff. So early on, they hadn't sorted things out the way they've sorted it out now.
But then come along Brother Brigham.
Oh, Brigham Young.
Yeah.
He was less progressive than Joseph.
Oh, yeah.
Mildly so.
Yeah.
By which I mean he made the Utah Territory a slaves territory, and he wasn't. Joseph Smith ordained a couple of black guys to the priesthood.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And then Brigham said, anyone who has even a drop of the mark of Cain is out.
Yeah.
But also his views on women were not progressive. They didn't include anything like giving them priesthood or anything.
But he did manage to marry a couple of progressive women.
And then just squelch it out of them.
Well, anyways,
so what are these women,
this group,
this conference,
this group of women are trying to sort of raise the profile of and visibility of women in the church.
Oh,
and they are.
Well, that sounds like a bad idea.
Well, they're not the sort of the crazy. We want the priesthood and equality.
Oh yeah,
kind of women trying to raise the profile,
because equality would be crazy.
That would be completely crazy. But they, they're asking for things like quoting more women in sermons and Sunday school lessons, selecting more women to speak and pray at church-wide general conferences, letting women either conduct or at least be present at worthiness interviews for teen girls.
That is it, because it's a creepy moment. Like it can be, because these are what we're talking about here is interviews where a bishop who is just a member of a male member of the congregation who's been chosen to lead that congregation, sits down with a teenage girl and basically has her tell him all the naughty things she's done,
right, and then counsel her to not do them anymore.
Well, yeah,
is in theory what's supposed to happen.
And sit there. Possibly imagining everything that she says.
Well, and I'm sure probably being incredibly uncomfortable the entire time.
Oh, I'm sure I'm sure most of these are perfectly innocent and everybody's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I'm also sure that there are times when there are bishops who are enjoying it a little too much.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Other things that they would like, permitting women to serve as mission zone leaders.
Mission
zone leader is so the missions are divided up into Mormons are nothing if not orderly,
organized
about everything that they do.
Yeah.
And so
there are flow charts, people. Flow charts of flow charts.
Yes, indeed. So when you get called to serve an LDS mission, you are called to a specific mission.
Right.
And your mission might be headquartered in any number of cities throughout the world.
Sure.
Mine was Rome, Italy.
Correct.
But there were 3 other missions in Italy at the time.
You weren't in the Milan mission.
I was not in Milan. I was not in Padova. And I was not in
Catania. Is that it?
I think
that might be it.
I think so.
The Sicilian one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Nonetheless.
Wow. We're very knowledgeable about the missions in Italy.
Weird. So anyway, so you get called, and at the head of that mission is going to be a mission president.
Right.
And then he is going to have divided the mission up into zones.
Right.
Under which there are districts. And a district will have a district leader. One of the missionaries.
One of the missionaries. Right. These guys are out for 2 years.
Exactly. And so there will probably be at least 4 missionaries in a district.
Yeah.
2 companionships. There are often like 6 missionaries, and sometimes a couple of them
are so bored by this
girls.
right now.
Anyways, so you have multiple districts in a zone.
Oh, yeah.
And so what they're saying is over 16 to 20 to maybe 30, 25-ish, 26-ish, it needs to be an even number. Missionaries, they're saying, well, why couldn't it be a woman? Now that gets a little weird.
Yeah.
Because that woman supposedly, while this is not an office of the priesthood or anything, right?
Right.
It still would be a woman holding an authority position over a man.
And not just a man. And this will sound like a silly thing, but this is actually a big distinction. A priesthood holder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because young men get priesthood. It so cheapens it when you think about it. But they get priesthood when they're teenagers. Mm-hmm. And they get the big priesthood, the important one, when they're 19.
Yeah.
And they all get it. Yeah. Every worthy male gets this, and it suddenly makes them better than women.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's basically what it does.
Yeah.
They don't say it that way, and they would be furious at that characterization.
They would shit themselves.
They would launch on that.
Yes.
And then when you say, well, how is it not true? They would go, well, women are totally important. Really? How? Show me the way.
Well, they have different responsibilities.
Right.
They have responsibilities to the family and to raising children.
And vacuuming. That's your priesthood. Men get the Aaronic and the Melchizedek priesthood. You get the vacuuming priesthood.
Women are partners in the priesthood.
Right.
As long as they marry a man who has the priesthood.
And who lives
but they
worthily.
say things like that.
Yeah.
They try to rationalize it. They try to figure it out.
They work their it's impossible. Yeah. I mean, they talk themselves in circles trying to make this thing work. But the truth of the matter is that men are right and women need to obey them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, because
that's really the conclusion that this conference, the only conclusion that this conference can come to, eventually.
I mean, a lot of this is just going to be completely struck down, ignored.
Yeah. Cute idea, ladies.
Oh.
Go make a casserole.
Aren't you showing initiative?
That is... You know what, sister? Thank you for that input. Thank you so much.
Aww.
I really appreciate it. Now,
it reminds
I need
me
to talk to you
about
the ward party that I need you to plan.
I flashed to the Little Britain sketch of computer says no.
Can we do this? Computer says no.
God says no.
God, priesthood says no. Sorry. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
They're not going to share that. Okay. So, you know how? So we went to a movie this afternoon.
We did.
We went to see the new Total Recall.
That's true.
Film.
Where are you going with this?
Okay, you remember in the movie how he's got this implant in it's his phone that activates, and it's
kind of wanted one.
It's implanted in the palm of his hand, and he has to like carve it out.
He just holds his hand up to his ear and talks.
Yeah, everybody's talking with their hand in there. It's the wave of the future, people.
Oh, absolutely.
It's coming. That's coming down the
pike. I'm going to have a little earpiece in my middle finger.
You just hold it up there.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello. I'm on the hand. Gives talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand.
A different meaning. Yeah. Anyway, so it reminded me of a story that I read this week.
Oh, okay.
An interesting story about school lunch and Satan.
Okay, I'm not sure I see the connection.
Well, duh, because I haven't told you the scary part yet.
Oh.
These kids. Okay, so there's a school in Moss Bluff. It's Moss Bluff Elementary School in Louisiana, somewhere in the state of Louisiana, and they're trying to save some time at lunchtime.
Okay.
Because here's the problem.
Here's
the problem. All the kids they're going up. They're trying to buy their lunch, and they're already signed. Their parents have already paid for their month's worth of lunches or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they just got to check them off the list or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
So the kid walks up and he says his name. Takes, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But the 10 seconds, when you spread it out over a lot of kids, that's a lot of time that they're wasting.
Sure.
Trying to track down which kid has paid for what, and sometimes the kid seems to have paid twice or whatever. There's a lot of problems. It would be nice.
We just lined up in alphabetical order and went to lunch.
I don't think they're good at the alphabet. I'm just kidding.
And that way the woman at the door was just like, take a milk, and she would mark you off. Take a milk.
Well, but here's the thing. They can make it even faster than that. Even.
Really?
Because you guys had to take the time to line up in order. They can make it this much faster. Here's how fast they can do it.
Okay.
A scan of the palm.
Sounds great. Sure.
Bloop. It IDs the kid.
Seems like overkill.
Chicks,
but fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're doing like biomechanics, like bio identification.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
It's the future, Frank. The future is now.
Yeah.
Except for one problem. That means that's Satan's way of scanning kids. Of
course it is.
Here's the thing. I don't get the claim here. I don't get it, but I'm going to try to explain it. Here's Mamie Sonier, a concerned mother. Here's what she's had to say. She said, as a Christian, I've read the Bible, go to church and stuff. I know where it's going to end up coming to. The mark of the beast. I'm not going to let my kids have that.
Yeah. No, I know what she's talking. I know what she's talking about.
She's not talking about anything.
Okay.
Her kid, they're trying to ID her kids using technology so that they can pay for their goddamn lunch.
Yeah.
Where is the mark of the beast in that?
Has to do with the Bible, like she said.
Yeah.
And I'm privy to this kind of thinking because I those years in Oklahoma. As a kid. I had a lot of teachers who were evangelical, and for whatever reason they were all pretty outspoken.
Yeah.
But there was one in particular, one of my math teachers, Mrs. DeWoody, and she her husband was a pastor, and she was always there was always something evangelical-y coming out of her mouth. But I remember this. There was some weird rumor about how there was going to be this new way to pay for things, and you could have like this chip installed in your hand. I mean, it's just this was pre-internet, and so there would be just like weird rumors running through the evangelical community about the different ways that technology was going to bring the mark of the beast to you. And so they, of course, nothing like that has ever happened. But she was just up in arms about this.
Yeah.
She was just so concerned about the fact that the mark of the beast was going to be and that it was going to be the only way to pay. You will not be able to engage in financial transactions without the mark of the beast.
We don't accept cash here. We only accept Satan.
Yeah.
Do you have your Satan hand? Your Satan chip?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Thank you. Come again.
We will deduct that's from his account.
That's
Satan's just going to pay for everything. That's probably their problem with socialism too. That's Satan.
Yeah, I still.
So sadly, I know what you're talking about.
But none of this makes any sense.
I've known people in my life who would be that woman.
Would they be okay with if it scanned their fingerprint? It was a fingerprint scanner. Would it be okay?
I don't know.
Or a retinal scanner?
Maybe retinal. Maybe
something.
Because that's not
elbow print. An elbow print. Stick your elbow in there. You don't get your lunch unless you put your elbow in.
Oh, you're looking a little ashy today. You need to.
Oh yeah, get some lotion on there. Scanner can't see what your elbow looks like.
That's weird.
It's like they're looking for things to blow up at this point.
Yeah,
they're not. I mean, they're not like waiting around, and if something legitimate pops up, they get outraged. It's like they're trying to be outraged.
Absolutely. Yeah,
that's what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Really frustrating to me. Object to real things. Don't object. Don't freak out about not real things.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, anyways, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter at TGI Atheist.
Yeah. TGI. Yeah. Facebook.com/TGI Atheist. A lot of fun things happen on the Facebook page. You can email us, as many people have been doing,
which is love it. I love hearing from you.
podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can leave us a voicemail at 424-666-8442.
Yeah.
And now we're going to take our obligatory Pat Robertson break.
It has been. You know what? He is a flowing font of beautiful audio.
Yeah.
Is what happens with Pat Robertson.
And this one's pretty amazing. Let's see what you guys think of it.
Susan says, I'm the mother of 3 adopted girls. I find the men I date are okay when I tell them I have 3 daughters, but when they find out that they're adopted and from 3 different countries and not my own biological children, they don't want to date anymore. Whether I tell them up front or after a couple dates, all the men are reacting the same way. They say they could be okay if the girls were, biological children and came with child support. Why are these men reacting this way? Can I answer? 'Cause I was going to say dogs.
Don't you insult my
I'm not going to say dogs, but that's just wrong on every level.
No, it's not wrong.
It is wrong.
I mean, a man doesn't want to take on the United Nations, and this woman's got all these various children and a blended family. I mean, what is it? And you don't know what problems are. I'm serious. I've got a dear friend, adopted some little kid from an orphanage down in Colombia. Child had brain damage. Grew up weird. And you just never know what's been done to a child before you get that child. What kind of sexual abuse it's been, what kind of cruelty, what kind of food deprivation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you're not a dog because you don't want to take on that responsibility. You don't have to take on somebody else's problems. I mean, you really don't. You can go help people. You could minister to people. We minister to orphans all over the world, thousands of them. We love orphans. We love helping people. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to take all the orphans around the world into my home. And I think, okay, let's get to the next question.
True.
I'm in trouble.
Oh, you think you're in trouble, Pat? Oh, my God. Ladies and gentlemen, I was experiencing this for the first time with you, and I'm stunned. I'm stunned.
I was floored by that. Just absolutely, completely floored by it.
Wow.
Like, there's so much. Like, he just didn't go anywhere near where I thought he was going to go.
No.
But it just horribly.
In fairness, men don't want to take the United Nations on.
No.
Pat, that's not what blended family means, by the way. P.S. I'm just going to say, that's not what that phrase refers to. But, oh my God.
Yeah, well, he has a problem with the blending of the race.
Well, that's what it is. Like, that's just, like, she's clearly, strangely, she's gone, like, on the right track. She's like, yeah, they're just dicks. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, no. It's just that
I feel the same way.
It's just that different races are kind of icky. And we shouldn't have them together.
Well, we don't want weird
right.
children.
Yeah. And heaven forbid you should take on, like, no. It would not be the Christian thing to do, to take on a kid who's, if you find a kid who's in need.
Charity?
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Being charitable and generous and good.
You're under no obligation.
Of course, you're not under any obligation, but like,
I love it, and he jumps straight.
You are under some sort of like, maybe that's not how you want to do it,
right?
But surely, if you have made that choice, that's a good thing.
What's funny is that because you were playing this, I thought when she said because they're dogs, she was referring to the kids. Like,
I know.
In the first moment, I was like...
That's actually where I flashed when I heard
I was like,
well.
what? And then I was like, oh, she's talking about the men. Oh, yeah, they are kind of jerks.
Yeah.
They're just jerks. You're dating jerks.
Yeah.
That's the real answer. Pat, listen. The real answer to this question is because you're dating dickheads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, isn't that amazing, though? I absolutely loved it.
Oh,
Loved it.
Okay, I'm going to jump to some emails.
Oh yeah,
we've gotten a few
let's
of the.
Take our emails and see if we can top the kind of advice that Pat Robertson gives.
Well, now that's probably just not going to happen. But we did get some lovely emails. I wanted to mention a few of them.
Okay,
we got one from Brett, he's a first time emailer. Long-time listener, first-time emailer.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
That's very cute.
Mm-hmm.
And he said some very nice things about us, which we always love to hear. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
But he wanted to point out something that has raised his eyebrows, and that is some billboards. And as we know, the atheists like their billboards. The Christians, the believers, have their billboards, and the atheists have their billboards. He provided a link to a couple of real cutesy ones.
Yeah, okay, let's hear it.
One of them has a guy seemingly floating in the air in glowy white underwear.
Oh, okay.
And it says, Mormonism, God is a space alien, baptizes dead people, big money, big bigotry. And then on the other side it says, join American atheists. Atheism, simply reasonable, at atheists.org.
Yeah, so reasonable.
Yeah.
Just completely reasonable.
And then their other one
God.
is the same format, only
okay.
this one has a picture of Jesus on toast. The face of Jesus appearing in a slice of toast.
Okay.
And it says, Christianity, sadistic God, useless savior, 30,000 plus versions of, quote, truth, promotes hate, calls it love.
Wow.
Join American atheists.
So they have the same little...
Yeah. I'll throw a link. I'll throw this link up onto the Facebook page.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you guys can see it if you like us on Facebooks or subscribe to us. Can you just subscribe?
I don't think so. I think you have to like us. You have to like us.
Well, I'm sorry. We don't think you have to like us, but Facebook thinks you have to like us. Anyway, it
doesn't mean that you really like us. It just means that you Facebook like us.
Just Facebook like us.
Yeah.
If anyone gives you any trouble,
please don't poke us.
Don't. That is against our religion. Poking.
Oh my God! I've had pretty creepy people poke me.
Really?
Oh yeah. Of course, I don't think you can poke a page. Right?
Yeah.
But I've had people come and poke me who are people that I've met.
Then you go to for
whatever reason ended up being
people.
Facebook
Do people still poke?
It hasn't happened for a while.
I haven't been poked for a long time.
There was how much of this one can I say without even getting myself in the slightest amount of trouble? Someone who I knew through work poked, and it was I was like, oh dear God,
you can't poke, no poking. Oh my God, wait, can you go to the police and complain that your bishop poked you?
My priest poked me.
I was poked by a priest. Anyway, so what I love though is that Brett. He says that he's an art professor at Davis and Elkins College in Elkins, West Virginia, and he's like, his objection is aesthetic. He said, "I can't, as a professor, I can't get behind the aesthetics of these billboards." And I agree, they are ugly as
really
sin.
bad.
They're
really
terribly
bad.
designed.
But
also that's just the stupidest message they could possibly be putting out there.
Yeah.
These idiots.
Are they just trying to get the press? Is that all they're trying to do?
Well, okay, so let's just take it on face value. Ostensibly, what they're trying to do is get people to join their organization. It says in big letters, join American Atheists. No one's going to join.
Except for maybe somebody who's already atheist and has that sensibility of
oh, that's funny. Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Right, yeah. No one, they're not, and that's the kind of person who was already inclined to join them.
Right.
From the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not getting anybody that wasn't going to join. Nobody looks at those billboards and goes, well, I'm atheist, but I never felt the inclination to join a group, but now I do. Now that I know how much they hate the Christians and the Mormons, now I'm totally joining.
And no believer is going to look at one of those and go, oh.
Yeah. They're clearly not going to be convincing anyone to drop their religion. Nobody's going to be like, oh, yeah, our Savior is useless. Maybe I've been wrong the whole time.
Well, they're probably aware of that. They know they're not going to get converts.
Yeah.
They're probably really just trying to find the atheist. That's probably really all they're trying to do.
It's also stupid.
But I just hate it. I think that in that process, if that's your goal, I think you can go about it in a way that you get to achieve that goal and not just make complete enemies
Right.
in the religious world.
Right.
Because that's not what we want. That's
No.
not going to get us anything.
How does that help anybody? Animosity. Let's leave the animosity and the hatred to the religious.
To the religious.
Why don't we show them?
They're good at it.
Yeah.
Why do we need to be good at it?
Right.
We need to move on, people.
Yeah, we need to be the people that we want to be.
Right.
Be the change you want to see.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't even. No. Oh, we've become angry atheists again.
These angry atheists are making me angry.
Anyway, so here's another email.
Oh. Yeah.
From a guy apparently who has signed it Korihor. Maybe that's his name.
Might be his name.
Yeah.
I hope that's not his name. You know who Korihor is.
It's
He's Book of Mormon character.
yeah.
And he's like he's a bad guy. Korihor.
I don't remember the story at all.
I should have looked it up already, but Korihor in the Korihor is a skeptic. Oh,
Nice.
Oh, good. Whose story is described in Alma 30 within the Book of Mormon. Korihor is directly referred to in the Book of Mormon as an antichrist.
Oh.
Because he claimed there will be no Christ. Oh, okay, I like this guy.
Okay,
All right.
yeah.
Okay, go Korihor.
Clever you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
Korihor.
I doubt that his name is Korihor.
Right.
That's what I was getting at.
But if you're having a kid, please
Hey.
consider Korihor as a name for
Good
your
name.
child.
Or Korihorette, if it's a girl.
That's Korihor.
Cora. Oh, not Korihor.
Oh yeah, don't
bad.
give it to a girl.
No.
The word whore is right in there. You can't do it. Anyway, so Korihor heard our a couple weeks ago we gave a few weeks ago we gave a shout out to atheists in the military, and
Yeah.
we wanted to hear people's
We had
stories.
some good responses.
We did.
Yeah.
Korihor had a little bit extra to add to it. He said that he said the bias towards people being believers is most noticeable in basic training. He was in the Air Force, and he said when you get your dog tags, they have a line for your religion, so they know what kind of chaplain to call when you get killed. So the process guy goes, and this is him like outlining what happens. The processing guy goes, "What's your religious preference?" I don't really have one. Well, we got to put something. You want to just put Christian or what? And he was raised Mormon, so he was just like, I guess Mormon then? And then he got a weird look, but then I guess they just have that in their system, but not atheist,
Right.
though. Right. Or he says there also is not an option for keep chaplain away.
Oh, that's awesome.
I wish I had that. Anyway, so he said the bigger problem comes on Sunday. On Sunday, the trainers aren't usually there or not as much, but you have two options. You can go to church, which has AC.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
important.
some air conditioning
And
would be
lasts
nice,
forever, and people are at least nice to you for a while instead of screaming at you. Or stay in the barracks and do work, either chores or yard work. Also, it's hot. So it's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Korihor went to church
Yeah.
every week.
That makes a lot of sense.
And I think he ended up
some self-preservation. Right
he literally ended up choosing the church with the longest service.
there. Wouldn't that be the Mormons?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, no,
Boy.
they may just do a sacrament meeting
Oh, it's possible.
instead of the full 3 hours of various meetings.
Yeah.
The Mormon church usually is. So yeah, he just went. He said he also he went and chugged some sacrament wine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you get a big old swallow on that. Yeah, well, thanks, Korihor. It's nice to know that our government is supporting religion.
Yeah.
In that way.
Super nice.
Great. But yeah, that was great to hear from him. And then we also heard from someone calling herself Christine. Hi, Christine.
We don't believe that that's really your name. But
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, but it's a lovely name, and you should name your girls that instead of Korihor. if you're looking for a name.
Actually, we have no reason to doubt that it's really
No, I'm
her.
sure her name is Christine.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was just saying I'm just shouting out to her. She put an interesting. She sent a picture of a. She heard us talking about she went back and listened to our What Catholics Believe segment about Ash Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
And she said that she remembered when she was growing up, she had a little receptacle for her palm fronds, which was this little infant. They call it the infant of Prague, which is a little Jesus who's like got a crown on top and and stuff. And in the back, it's got a little cup where you can put your palm fronds.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So she
sent a picture of that?
She sent, yeah, you want to see?
Oh, we should put that up on the...
We should.
Oh,
I hope that's
cute.
okay. Yeah, he's a little...
We'll just email her and just say, hey, it's something we can
Do you
post.
remember, he looks like on Mr. Rogers, the Prince Tuesday. Do you remember the little puppet?
Yeah.
He looks like that.
Oh,
Anyway,
fun.
yeah, we should, I'm sure she wouldn't mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she wouldn't mind. But yeah, she's, I just want to say hi to Christine. Thanks for sending that. We'll try and get that up on the Facebook page.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, any more emails?
I think that's it. I don't know.
Oh, well, yeah,
if we missed you, sorry.
Yeah,
We got a lot of we get emails, so
Yeah.
we try and get to most, if not all.
Yeah. All right. Well, this leads us to our big segment.
Yeah.
Which is earlier on we kind of teased that we're going to have a preview of Larry Wilmore's Race, Religion, and Sex. Well, the fact of the matter is I don't know that we can actually give a preview of what is actually 100% going to be in the show.
Right.
Because I was able to go to a taping.
Right.
Of their first ever. It's right now it's just a special that they're doing for Showtime, but they're hoping that it turns into a series. And so the special is Larry Wilmore's Race, Religion, and Sex in Utah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey!
Because where else are you going to go? if you're doing a comedy special about race, religion, and sex,
oh yeah, of course you go to Salt Lake.
You think Bible Belt, but doesn't have the comic value of Salt Lake City.
Yeah. So anyways, it was interesting. I mean, he's trying to do like a town hall format thing. I don't know if he really pulled that off, but again, they can do some pretty magical things with editing, and so maybe the few moments where there were audience interaction, it might end up working. But mainly, it's just sort of a format where there's a monologue and a couple little like segments, and then a panel comes out.
Okay.
And to be honest, his stuff on race was pretty funny.
Larry is Wilmore a senior black correspondent
for the Daily Show. Yeah. And so he's quite good at handling the topic of race in a funny way.
Yeah.
As well as sex. I think that both those parts of the title were covered pretty well.
Good.
Religion, and especially Mormonism, I wouldn't say quite so much.
Oh, missed the boat.
I don't think he really got who he was talking to in the audience, for one.
Oh.
He kept talking to the audience and saying, you Mormons. And like at a certain point, people were just like, we're not Mormons.
Yeah.
Guess who shows up to this kind of thing in Salt Lake? Not the Mormons.
Not the Mormons, no.
Turns out there were some Mormons in the audience, and it was interesting because for people who don't know Salt Lake, it seems pretty settled right now. There seems to be a truce of sorts between the Mormons and the non-Mormons. There's not a lot of open animosity between the two groups. It's all sort of subtext more than anything.
Right, yeah.
It actually flared up.
Really?
In the audience. Yeah, there was some yelling back and forth.
Oh.
And that was interesting.
Well, the cameras were turned on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's time to show your stripes. It's time to provide some good television.
Yeah. But they weren't the most informed people.
Really?
Who were standing up and
Shocking.
talking. I know, right? Yeah.
Bizarre.
Yeah, like one of the things that we've actually talked about on the podcast, the MTC 8-story building issue, and how the directive came from the church to
that's going to be
up.
a 9-story building.
Oh, it's a 9-story building.
Yeah, nobody would object to an 8-story building, but a 9-story building is crazy.
anyways, the neighbors are objecting to it. The
Right.
neighbors are all Mormon for the most part because it's in Provo. And she did just a terrible job explaining what the issue was. And it was like, oh my God, why can't we get like people who can actually like articulate what some of these issues are? And the Mormons in the audience were kind of shouting her down and stuff. And so it was quite a bizarre experience. I feel like it just barely scratched the surface of religion. Sadly.
Well, here's what my objection is. Now, I didn't get to go to this thing. I had other obligations.
Right.
But Andrea, my wife, went with you, and she came back and was telling me about it. And and they had apparently some locals up there on the stage.
There were 4 panelists. 2 of them were national comedians who you would recognize one of them, Jeff Green. He was played Jeff on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Right.
And the woman,
he was also Timon, wasn't he?
I don't know.
In Lion King?
That I
don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I have no clue. But anyways, and the woman, she was funny. I didn't really immediately recognize her. I'm not quite sure who she was. But yeah, you're right. They had these 2 locals, one of whom was an African American Mormon, who kind of does. He has an organization that reaches out to other African American Mormons. And to the African American community at large and all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Kind of saying, there is a place in Mormonism for black people.
Now.
But yeah, now. Boy, bringing the issue of blacks in the priesthood up with him. Wow. I've never seen such contortions of justification and whatnot going on. Yeah,
you have to, because they have a really ugly and completely unsatisfactorily finished history.
Right. But he was so weird because like he was so hung up on like, because they were talking about, when the blacks were given the priesthood, and he's like, no, when all worthy males were given the priesthood. That's what it said. And it's like,
true.
Yeah, but it was about black people.
Yeah.
And so he really had some really good mental contortions that he was going through.
God.
And then the 4th person is actually somebody that I've known for a really long time. Troy Williams.
Oh yeah.
And,
we know Troy.
Yeah. Yeah, you know Troy too. And anyways, it was.
I'm thinking
he was playing a character. He wasn't being himself.
Well, he's always playing a character.
Yeah,
we don't need to rag on him.
No, and I don't want to rag on him, but he was.
But to give some background, here he is an activist. His deal is to be an activist. He's gay, and he's like pro-gay, get out there. And I mean, like when we had the march on Temple Square as a protest for the Proposition 8.
Oh yeah,
he was actually pulled off the stage by an organizer of the march because his words were so incendiary.
Right, exactly.
This is the guy.
Right.
This is the guy that
incendiary against the Mormon Church.
Against the Mormon Church, yeah. And so furious about how, and he was raised Mormon, so he's got that. He's got the sort of same thing we've got going on, only his is was always just so incendiary.
His amp was turned to 11.
Right. And he's always wanted to be a provocateur and all of that sort of thing. Yeah. That's just his gig.
And so anyways, but he wasn't doing that on the show. He was doing more of a gay Mormon apologist type character that I had a little bit of a problem with.
Wait, what?
He presented himself as though he was still sort of in the Mormon community.
What?
That he was still sort of Mormon.
How is that possible?
I'm not quite sure. Unless he's like, because truth be told, we don't hang out like we used to.
Right.
But so who knows? Maybe he's gone someplace different of late. But he was presenting himself as having a real concern for Mormonism and a real need for Mormonism to reform, and this respect given to Mormonism that I don't know that I've ever
He has no respect for Mormonism.
No, I know.
We know this about him.
Well, that's what I always thought about him. Yeah.
Oh, weird.
And so anyway, that was a little strange.
Oh, by the way, the guy we were talking about was not Jeff Green, but Jeff Garland.
Oh, Jeff Garland.
His character's name is Jeff Green.
Oh, you shut up. I've been calling him Jeff Green for a week now.
His Curb Your Enthusiasm character.
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
Anyway.
Okay, Jeff Garland.
Yeah.
Jeff Garland. Okay.
Anyway, so what I was going to say is that my objection to all of what I've heard is that it wasn't you and I up there on that stage.
Well, yeah.
Because what I understand is what Troy said. I mean, from what you're telling me now, Troy was worthless as the counterpoint.
Yeah, well,
wasn't that his job? He was supposed to be counterpoint, and he's up there being apologetic.
Yeah. Again, I don't know what he was trying to do.
What a weirdo. Anyway, I'm sure that.
Anyways, Jeff Garland was fantastic. He was super funny.
Good.
He carried the whole panel segment, which the panel segment took like the bulk of the time filming. Well, they were filming for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Well,
for like an hour.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll
episode.
cut it down dramatically.
Oh, yeah, they have more than enough material.
Right.
But again, it was there's parts of it that I really truly do get taken out. One of the funny things that Larry Wilmore had sort of picked up on somewhere was the idea of floating. Have we talked about floating?
I don't know, but we should. There are people that don't know.
I would say if you have Showtime, definitely check it out. You'll get to see a little slice of Salt Lake that you may never have even thought about. And he's really, really.
You can't talk about floating and then not talk about it.
Floating is a thing that they do at BYU as a sort of a workaround for not having premarital sex.
Yeah, you're not allowed to have premarital sex.
You cannot have premarital sex.
But
the BYU Honor Code forbids it.
But strangely, they don't have a way of taking away those pesky urges.
Right.
Because people tend to get
20
feelings
in their early 20s and late teens and whatnot. So what they'll end up doing is this whole idea of floating, where the man penetrates the woman.
Yeah.
Right.
But wait,
with his erect penis.
How is that
her vagina?
How do they avoid making that sex?
Well, they just hold still. They just float, right?
They just put it in.
They just put it in,
leave it there, and
hold still, motionless.
They don't move back and forth.
Okay. This discussion was amazing. Larry Wilmore, he loved it. He absolutely was just like, this is the best thing. How have the rest of us not figured this out?
Right. Oh my God.
Come on, baby. Just float. Just float.
Just let me float. I just need to float. I don't want to really do anything.
Right.
I don't want to. Yeah. No,
sadly, again, it was Troy that was explaining it, and his explanation was needlessly complicated.
Oh.
And it wasn't.
Why?
So hopefully they can edit it in a way that
that makes some sense.
Yeah, and that Larry can pick up on quicker. And
they also, by the way, the BYU students also have some of them have hit on the concept that another workaround might be to go anal.
Yeah, they talked about that too. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep. They don't understand what sex is. I
don't think they have I don't think they've worked that out very well.
They imagine that it has to involve thrusting.
Right. And if you don't thrust,
then it's not sex.
And also, if it's not in a vagina, then it's not sex.
Then it's not sex as well.
Unless it's between two men, and then we know for sure that that's the worst sex that you can possibly have.
Oh. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's terrible. So anyways, yeah, that's going to be coming up soon.
Yeah,
check it out.
I look forward to it.
It was fun. He did some funny stuff where he was like, "Well, I know where all the black people are in Salt Lake, and they're where they always are in every city." And then it cuts to Martin Luther King Boulevard. Yeah,
it's awesome that he came up with that because he went there and was just like, "What the fuck?" Where,
like in the video, he like stops this white woman pushing a stroller, and it's like, "Where are the black people?"
Yeah,
and she's like, "Oh, there's one who lives in my building."
I've got one.
Yeah.
I think.
And he's like, oh, where's that? And she's like, oh, it's like 2 blocks that way. That's where the nearest black person was.
It's a very white community, people. I actually live in a neighborhood that has some.
Yes, because I live over here too.
We live in a neighborhood that has lots of ethnic and racial diversity.
Yes.
And that's nice. For Utah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not a black neighborhood.
It's not, no. It's a Latino
diverse.
neighborhood.
It's diverse.
Latino and white.
Yeah.
It's a working class neighborhood is what it really is.
And there's some of everybody here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway. Well, thanks for listening, kids.
Yeah,
we're
much.
having just so much fun talking to you.
Oh,
and you can write to us. You can do the podcast. You can podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
or follow us on Facebook and Twitter at TGIAtheist.
Yeah, or you can even leave a voicemail. Your voice can be on our show if you simply call the number,
which is 424-666-8442.
TGIA.
Yeah, there you go.
8442 TGIA.
There you go.
Thank God I'm atheist. It's all so easy. We've made it so easy for you.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
All right. See you next week.
Bye-bye.